Okay, gonna be a little quiet here because some people are still sleeping, but got a nice little entry here on Litecoin. After we pushed above the key level of resistance, held that zone, and had a nice couple of candle closures with lots of buy volume. So we will see. Five-minute closure. Haven't seen significant buy volume coming yet. In terms of after the initial push to the upside that we got right here. But I'm pretty happy with the trade overall right now. Stop loss below the candle closure, stop loss below the candle closure. First forward 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is right here. But I think I will be taking profits at 3 risk reward, 62.9, 63, that zone. Very happy with the 3 risk reward on this one here. Seeing significant buy volume, can just sell volume on the pull back down. Good to see on the smaller time frames as well. Volume accumulation. Made a higher high, held a higher high. This is a higher low formation. Strong move to the upside with more buy volume than sell volume. Broke the descending triangle, market structure, price action, and VSA all confluencing in a one single direction to the upside. So that is pretty good. Oops. There we go. How's it going, Oishim? Good morning. If we get a candle closure very soon here with not much sell volume, this could be a potential no supply candle here on the 5-minute chart if we get a bullish candle to push us above the recent highs there, because we have the two less historic volumes here show more volume than the previous supply candle, and we should theoretically have resistance or sellers here because it's the previous high and we're holding below the area. Oops, that was my second alarm at 5:45 there, but been already awake for a while. So we got the candle closure below the two previous historic volumes, so if we do close the next candle with more bullish volume or more volume and it's bullish compared to the previous bearish, then that will indicate a no supply, which should be a bullish indication. So we'll see how the market reacts, but right now we're just sitting pretty with our single position we have right here. If it comes back here, you know, we don't mind adding more, and then the cutoff we say we're going to be wrong is breaking 59.90-ish is, in my opinion, when I'm going to say I am wrong. Still got 13 minutes left on this candle closure on the 1 hour. Still got to keep that in mind, because the 1 hour candle closure is very important, and we don't have a significant amount of risk yet. So we want to wait until we have candle closure confirmation before we look to enter more. But we do want to enter more on this long opportunity here. But like always, wait for candle confirmation. We know that there's buyers in the market here on this pair. I just hope we're able to keep it above this zone where the candle closure is basically at here, because obviously the further down we go, the weaker this bullish candle looks. So hopefully we close higher up here. Got still 13 more minutes, so we'll see. Have you entered on LTC, or are we waiting still? Yeah, I've already entered there, but I have already discussed it with the Performante Premium members, like we can see right here. So now it's just to see if we're going to hold above this level of support. If we are, I'd be adding more. Main thing is making sure that daily tries to close somewhat bullish. Bitcoin looks like it's gaining buy volume as well overall, which is good. So the sentiment is bullish. Let's just minimize that. So we see that this was a no supply candle, because there was a lack of supply, as you can see, when the price was moving up. And then the previous candle was very, very bullish, with a wick coming all the way back down, hitting the 8600 support. Closed very bullish right at the resistance. No supply. Next candle, very, very bullish to the upside. So the story, the price action is telling us right now on the hour, it's pretty damn bullish in my opinion. So one thing we do have to keep in mind is this resistance, and that's where I'm looking to potentially sell a decent amount of my position, if not all my position, on Litecoin here, because we're looking for the consolidation. We're wanting to scalp from this zone to around the resistance area where the consolidation will continue sideways. We're not looking for a massive reversal. We're not trying to target that. We're trying to target the zones that we can identify. And right now, we're in a consolidation zone and we're nearing our resistance. So we're longing for a nice quick scalp to the resistance zone. On the hour chart, we got this zone right here. Hopefully Litecoin will be able to hit this $63 area. If not, we got our 6170-ish, which is maybe a 1.82 risk reward, which isn't ideal, but I'm willing to take that 2 risk reward, maybe a little bit less depending on what BTC is doing. But at this point in time, in my opinion, it's looking all right. I'd like to see the price hold this zone. We got 8 minutes on the 1 hour here still, so minute and basically 10 seconds until the 1 hour closes here. EOS still looks like a good opportunity. I'm probably going to actually post that within the Discord just to let people know. Okay, got the 1 hour to close here, so we will see how the next candle starts here. That definitely pushed up as well. Kind of similar to LTC, but Litecoin had a lot more volume accumulation, that's why I liked it. Had more volume accumulation than almost any other alt, really. Mainly why I picked it. Ethereum has strong buy volume coming in as well. Ethereum is looking pretty damn good in my opinion as well, so let's just take a quick look here. Key descending zone that it broke down, got a very strong level of resistance here, turning into a nice new level of support. And then we got some key areas within a chart right here. It's probably going to be one zone that we want to sell off at, if not at the high area right here. So definitely a good possibility or opportunity here in my opinion, once we get a nice validation of this zone here. Like when we entered on, we got space, so it's fine, but we're definitely looking to enter more here. So Ethereum is a possibility, but for now, I'm with Litecoin right now. Happy with the current entry we have. Going to enter more once we have a higher confirmation, but for now, it's doing all right here. Really hoping that we're going to hold this resistance as a new support. We've already hit it once with a nice touchdown, and then a retest, and then a push up. So we'll just see if it's able to consolidate, hold above this zone. I'm going to be happy as long as it holds above the zone, and then hopefully we get a strong next impulse move to the upside. So I didn't put the stop loss all the way below this zone. Be quite a bit more risk. Got around 1.5% risk currently right now. And then once we validate this area of support, if it does, then we can be looking to move the stop loss a little bit higher. But for now, just going to be leaving it there for now. strong volume accumulation on the 1 hour and 5 minute and 15. So momentum on BTC is up. We're seeing more buy volume come in, looking a little bit more bullish, at least up to our next resistance area, which is going to be right around here. Ethereum in a similar position as me, like so. Strong buy volume. So definitely something to be interested in if we do see the price hold. Litecoin for now is still our only entrance here for the day. So in the consolidation, we don't got a whole lot of buy volume coming in here. Initially we did with the strong push to the upside, but we did get 2 injections of buy volume. We got a pullback, first injection, pullback again, second wave of injection of buy pressure, but we're seeing the injections decrease, obviously not a good sign, but that's why we are remaining patient and seeing what the market does before entering our full position. But it does still have a good potential of holding this level of previous resistance to new support. So we'll see how the price reacts to that zone. Okay, well, it's looking a little bit better here. Able to hold that nice level of support. Link. Okay, well, looking a little bit better. BTC is starting to move back to the upside here, holding a bullish candle pretty well, close to the high there with strong buy volume coming in as well, giving me a high confluence and conviction that the bulls still have control within this bullish push here. Main target's going to be this resistance. That's when I'll definitely look to see if the bears will be present, and we'll have to look to see if where Litecoin is. We might have to take some profit when the price does get to that zone. Hopefully we're in above the or at the 2 risk reward, but we will see when the time comes. But other than that, not a whole lot to do here. Pretty happy with it. Uptrend, held the resistance, pushed above, lots of bullish volume coming in. The Heikin Ashis are slowing down on the BTC 15-minute here. 4 hours closing an hour and 40 minutes. 40 minutes for the 1 hour. Very, very limited amount of sell pressure coming into Litecoin right now, which is a good thing. Could be a nice no supply if we get a bullish candle on the next one. So, good place to be. Okay, let's just see what this will do here. Okay. this doesn't break, then might be putting my stop loss a little bit higher, because I would really like to see these highs get broken to form a higher high. So then we have a potentially new higher low support that we could be breaking or holding, sorry. But at this point, got the 5 minute to still hold below the zone. BTC did make another push to the upside here with more buy volume coming in, but Litecoin is not able to push above this zone that we're holding below right now. But we will see what the next couple of candles come with. But I think what I might do is move my stop loss up to below this zone here, reducing my risk a little bit more here. Reduced it from 1.5 to 1.33 because it was at 1.5 before, so that's a little bit of a move, but I am looking to reduce it more as we go here. But I'd like to see the price break our recent high and make a higher high before I move my stop loss up potentially to under 1%, which would be reducing my risk by a third. So that would be a good situation for us to have. We're just looking for the price to break above our zone. So we'll see if the price is able to do that here within the next couple candles. Okay, 45 seconds, not loving where the candle's closing here, basically right at the resistance, but we'll be patient. Ethereum exploded with shit tons of buy volume. BTC made another push up, so with more buy volume, I'm going to give it some patience here, but I will be right back. I'm gonna get some more coffee here. I got some here. Move my stop loss up a little bit more here to around there. Basically closed right at that resistance, so we will see where the price goes from here. Hopefully it is able to break it here. What is it? 1.61, okay, so I'm not gonna move it. I'm happy with where it is. Not much more to do here on this trade. I don't want to manage it too much here. I don't want to move the stop loss too high. It's looking alright with where it is. I'd like to see that higher high break the previous resistance and hold before I move my stop loss up any higher. So that's where I'm at right now. Still looking not bad. Like I said before, we do want to make sure that we try to keep that stop loss increasing while making the price forming higher highs and higher lows. So, buy volume is slowly starting to come in. We'll see what this candle does on the rejection off this resistance here. If it's a pretty strong rejection, obviously that's not awesome. BTC did form a new high, basically right to our zone there, which isn't awesome because Litecoin didn't move kind of in tandem with BTC. I thought if BTC breaking to the upside, kind of coming close to this zone, Litecoin would be able to make a similar move to the upside, but we haven't really seen that. So let's see if the buy volume pushes up a little bit higher for Bitcoin, and then we can see maybe a little bit of a higher area get tested, and then Litecoin can move up to the risk reward of 2 to 1, or maybe 2.5, or even 1.5. But obviously somewhere higher than where we currently are would be a good situation for us to find ourselves in. But like I said before, we're not looking to really extend and hold on to this long trade for an extremely long period of time, because the momentum is obviously to the downside, and we want to respect that pretty well. So with that said, we are at this point just remaining patient, not going to be doing anything right now. Paul in our YouTube live said, hey, just joined, which coin are you watching right now? So I'm currently looking at and have entered in Litecoin paired with US Tether. This is currently the 5 minute chart we can see right here. I think it would make sense if we go like that. So I got the 5-minute chart here that I'm currently entered on. We have the 1 hour chart of the same pair, Litecoin paired with US Tether here. And that's our entry and our stop loss. We did move the stop loss up and reduced our risk. And then the top one here is going to be BTC paired with US Tether as well on the 1 hour. So we got the 1 hour, and this is the 5-minute that we're currently executing on. We're just looking for the price to inch up a little bit higher within our range that we're looking to take our profit right now. Wanting to move our stop loss up once this price breaks and forms a new higher high and holds above that zone. But right now, don't really have a whole lot to do at this very moment. So hopefully I was able to fill you in and bring you up to speed with what is currently happening. What's your monitor size? I have 3 24-inch monitors. And it's phenomenal having large monitors and having multiple of them. Actually, I have 3 24-inch monitors, and I also have a laptop that is, I don't exactly know what size it is. I kind of forget, but yeah, so in total I have 4 monitors. And I mainly just use this one and then one other one for my analysis. I'll have my other one for entering my trades and looking at different tools. And the final one is just the hour chart of BTC that's constantly on there, because who doesn't love tracking the price action of Bitcoin constantly throughout their entire life, right? So that is how my setup is looking. So, yeah, we will see how this price breaks the zone. We're not really getting a break here. Got 40 seconds until this candle closes. Not seeing a lot of transactional volume here. It closes red, and then we get a strong volume bar with a bullish candle after. That would be a no supply, where there should be levels of supply, because we see a resistance here. So if it closes red, I wouldn't be too upset, but we are looking for that strong push. Hopefully risk rewarded 2 to 1, 3 to 1, somewhere around there. That is our golden spot that we are always looking to aim for, obviously, ideally, but you know, because of what we talked about before, because of the counter trend, because of the resistance nearby, I'm potentially aiming and willing to take a little bit lower risk reward on this particular trade. And that's just being dynamic with the current market structure that we're in right now. Good morning. I'm gonna grab a coffee too. Yeah, coffee is a lifesaver, my man. Woke up pretty damn early today, so this is my second cup of the day. Okay, we got the candle close here, and we got the new 5-minute candle. At this point in time, closed right on the resistance. Did close green, so a little bit more bullish, but can't really say that it's a bullish candle with a very low amount of volume. We did get a wick down and then pushed back up, so we will see how the next few candles interact with the price here. So Ethereum's pushing to the upside, Chainlink is pushing a little bit to the upside, XRP is pushing to the upside, so looking to see Litecoin make that move again to the upside, holding above the current resistance, forming a higher high, and then we're looking to reduce that risk, putting it above this current low. So we're going to have a risk of maybe 0.5%, basically reducing our risk by 2/3. So that's the next step of the trade, and we're not going to be doing anything until that occurs. And that's how you approach the market in a very systematic way, and in an approachable, I guess I'm trying to say is it's a system that allows you to replicate it, so then you can test it, which is very, very important. So I'm going to go to the washroom real quick here, and I will be back. Won't take very long, but basically I got a stop loss in right here, and not going to be doing much until the market kind of gives me a better opportunity to take any profits. So if you got any questions, just drop them in the YouTube comments, and I'll be sure to answer any questions that you have. Hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm trying not to be too loud because it's still pretty early in the morning, 6:30. Stock market's open now. Let's see what the S&P has opened at here, because it opens, oh wow, it opened up 1.5%, gapped up significantly. So that is good for the markets. Bit of a gap up. I'll probably talk about that within another video today, because obviously it has been extremely volatile. But as of now, we are just going to patiently wait here. So I'll be back. I'm just going to go to the washroom, and I will be back shortly. Alright, what we get here? A bit of a rejection, not making a higher high. Little unfortunate, but hey, the price is still holding. Not loving that. Okay, let's see what it does here. Might move my stop loss up here if it breaks this ascending level of support. So right now we're at 1.3. Put it a little bit higher up here, probably at 1%. Not looking super strong here. Thought we could make it a little bit higher up. Or at least Litecoin would have made it to a little bit higher up while BTC was pushing, because we did push quite a bit here. Chainlink pushing up quite a bit here. Look at that. Wow. Broke above the resistance, so we'll see if this is able to close on the 5-minute. Not really looking as much for nice longs, although Link does look like if it does break that zone, we could get a nice push here. So we already got a position on Litecoin. We don't want to overexpose ourselves in a not so great situation, so we will wait on Link. But it is looking a little bit better. But I do want to see BTC here close on the 1 hour bullish. That candle obviously doesn't look great because the wick is significantly protruding to the upside. Not awesome, but let's see how it closes here. Patience is the name of the game. You just gotta wait, have confidence, have conviction, and just wait and wait and wait until there's a perfect moment or a good moment. This was, in my opinion, the best out of all the trades that I could see in the morning. You know, strong volume accumulation. You have strong buy volume on the way up, small amount of sell volume on the way back down. You see a 1 hour bullish candle close. You see the price break above the resistance, hold for support with less sell volume before the strong move to the upside, and it's very high amount of buy volume bringing the price up here. So overall it looks good. We broke kind of the structural high here. We can see many highs right here. Broke that structural high. So now we're on a higher high, and this is potentially a higher low, and it's consolidation before a next move towards the upside. So that is the hope for this trade. Like I said before, we're not looking to long and hold for a long time. This is a quick scalp here that we're looking for because the overall market sentiment is obviously very bearish. We can see the past few days have been very bearish. The past week have been very bearish, so we're looking mainly only for shorts for swing trades, but for day trades, obviously they're very short. You can scalp, so we're going to be looking for potential move up to a risk reward of 2 to 1 ideally or higher, but I am, like I said, willing to take something a little bit less because we are fighting against a trend a little bit here knowingly. So we'll see if we can get, this is a risk reward of 1 to 1, so you know, as we move our stop loss higher as the consolidation continues, we will then reduce our risk to maybe a third of what we had and still get risk reward 1 to 1, and then obviously we get up to here, that's gravy. But let's see if it's able to hold first. That's the main thing. Got 10 minutes on the 1 hour candle, so still not done that yet, but happy that we got picked back up here by the ascending support for a higher low. So we're making higher lows, not seeing a tremendous amount of buy volume yet, but obviously if you look back at the previous price action, we can see there's significant buy volume pushing the price up. So now it is just a game of patiently waiting, having the proper psychology in order to wait for these areas here and try to move that price up. Very systematic approach to trading is how we like to play it. Okay, we just closed a 5-minute candle. Let's see how the next 5-minute candle reacts. So Colton just asked a question on YouTube. He said, hey, wondering if we break 8,900 on BTC, where are you looking for resistance levels? I'm thinking 9,100, 9,500, and 10,200 or 10.2K. Sure, so let's go over that right now. I will just keep this on the side here. So if we break this zone, actually, I'm just going to put this over here because I can see it. You guys won't be able to, but that's okay. So if we break this zone, let's just look at the question again. So if we break the $8,900 zone, Colton is saying if we break this high right here, which is the consolidation resistance, where do you think we're heading? So yeah, we can talk about that right now on the 4 hour. The main places we're going to be looking, I think a 4 hour is very, very easy to identify these zones. I think this is actually an even better way to do it. The Heikin Ashi here. So we have, let's get this zone. So the first zone that we are looking for a level of resistance, like I said, around 9,100. Next zone, very, very easy to identify key zone. We can see strong levels of support all along here, and then you see a level of confluence here where there's a descending zone and a horizontal zone coming together at a single point, and that is going to be your next resistance level if it does break the $9,100 area, and that's around $96,ish zone. And that's a significant area for sell pressure to be located. If it does break that, that's going to be the next zone, around 10.2. So you're definitely bang on. Really, good on you. I completely agree with your levels, and we are on the exact same page. So again, we are seeing a rejection from the sellers here, not getting the price to be able to break above this zone. But yeah, so answering your question, I am looking at exactly those zones, 91, 95, and around 10.2. Obviously, it depends on which exchange you are looking at. So make sure that whoever is listening to this, make sure that whichever exchange you are using, you are looking at the levels at that particular exchange. But yes, those are the levels that I am looking for as well, for resistances on the upside. Okay, well, we are trying to get more buyers into the market here, with more buyers entering the market here than the previous couple bullish candles, previous 3 bullish candles we can see, but still not able to close above this zone. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Definitely, if BTC closes like this, that's not super strong. We'll make it a little bit stronger of a push, but I'm going to start to think to push this stop loss potentially to just underneath this support right here, because it's held this ascending support. It's very clear ascending triangle pattern. If it breaks the ascending support, gonna get out. This is the last kind of area that we have to hold before I would say we're not going to be looking to have any real long bias, in my opinion. So we will see how this candle closes here. We're not really up a significant amount here, 0.28, nothing really worth mentioning. But what I will do is reduce my risk to maybe around 1%. Right around there. Because we're holding this zone well, this consolidation, so it's well respected, which for me makes it a little bit easier of a job to manage my risk. So if we break that zone, we went from 1.5 to now 1%, basically 1.1% with spread and everything all done and done. So not so bad. slowly managing risk. I want to give that price room to breathe in case we get a wick down and then a push up, but you know, don't want to get wicked out, but also want to manage that risk. Colton with the smiley face and sunglasses emoji. Yeah, man, I completely agree with those zones that you're looking at, so that's awesome. Nice one on that. I completely agree with those zones. BTC has been making some pretty clear, easy to understand zone, which is great. But even then, you do definitely still have to understand how to take a good look at the view in the macro. So good on you. Wow, Chainlink's just storming up. Look how much volume it's getting. Okay, well, BTC is definitely not looking awesome for that close. I don't love that at all, to be completely honest. Might move my stop loss up even higher actually, because if this, I would just want to completely manage my risk if this does go kind of below that zone, so we're not really risking a whole lot. 0.4, somewhere around there, because yeah, BTC, if it closes with that rejection, obviously does not look very strong. But we'll see where it closes, we'll see where it ends up. Okay, got 1 minute and 30 seconds left until this candle closes, so let's see where it's going to go here. I'm going to move my stop loss up even more. That hourly candle closure does not look sexy, let's just say that. That looks quite the opposite. Okay, I'm going to 47 seconds. Going to definitely look to cut my losses here if it does break, because at this point it does not look very pleasing. Okay, so it's going to market sell here, but if it starts to dump after this candle closure, I'm probably going to be looking to sell here. Might wait until a little bit down here, but I'm going to see how the next candle reacts. but obviously it doesn't look extremely great at this point in time. So we're getting some bulls to come in the market here, which is good to see. Okay, well, it's reacting pretty good so far. So basically, if it goes above, it goes above. If it closes down, I'm going to reduce my risk even more to basically around right there, because this is a nice ascending triangle. If it breaks the resistance, I'm going to hold it. If it doesn't, if it comes back down, I'm going to basically close it if it goes below the ascending support there. So okay, well, got a minute left, and it looks like we're able to potentially close above that level there on the 5 minute. We'll see how it reacts. Not a lot of buy volume coming in, a little bit worrying, but candle is closing and holding at that zone, so that's good to see. Okay, got the candle closure, did not close above that zone, actually closed below it. So we'll see how this candle reacts here. If it breaks above, obviously that's fantastic. Possible head and shoulder BTC shorter time frame. Yeah, I see it. Potentially, 100%. I completely agree. We could form a little bit higher of a right shoulder, but definitely. Colton, you are spot on, my friend. So we'll see what BTC does. If it does break below the 88.15-ish, then we'll definitely probably see a little bit more bearish action, because that on the hour chart is a pretty savage reversal. So we'll stick on the 5-minute here. I think I might put that stop loss like here. But if it holds, it's great. So risk of 0.28, very, very little amount of risk. But we still want to ensure that, yes, we are letting the price continue on here. So okay, well, we're seeing a little bit of a bullish push here. Look at BTC, seeing a little bit more buy volume coming into the market, but this could be the top of the right shoulder, right? So definitely keep that in mind. Understanding that we saw less buy volume in the second candle pushing up, so that's a decrease in buy volume. also not ideal. I think what I'm going to do is, if it holds this retest, that's great, but we'll see how this candle closes. Because obviously, let's just draw it in like Mr. Colton said. Let's get our... No, it was on this one. So, what does the head and shoulders look like? Here's the left shoulder, here's the head, and here's the right shoulder. So this is what Mr. Colton was talking about here. So if it does actually hold this right shoulder and push down below the 88.15, 16, like we can see right here, then obviously that would be the completion of the head and shoulders pattern, and then from this point onward it would be quite a bit more of a bearish movement. But if we're able to hold and break above this right shoulder, then this price action pattern is now invalid, and then we can't use the head and shoulders as a potential move to the downside if it breaks this left shoulder. So it's in a pretty key zone right now. If we're able to break above, then we're looking bullish. If we're able to hold below this zone and then get some candles down here, then we have officially closed and held this right shoulder, giving us a confirmation that we could see a head and shoulders pattern emerge. So let's see how it does. We've currently moved our stop loss up to basically 0.28, and if the price is able to break above, then that's fantastic of this zone, and if not, then we've basically reduced our risk to nothing. Seen a lot of buy volume coming, that's good. Okay, OE Shim, what will happen when the right shoulder is confirmed? I'm trying to see if you can move more. There we go. Oh. Okay, so what will happen when the right shoulder is confirmed? Well, it's an if, and if the right shoulder is confirmed, and we see a rejection off this zone, then the price action pattern is complete. But in order for us to enter it, in order for us to get triggered into the trade, we need to be breaking the 88.20 zone, which is our breakout point, our neck point, where we're looking to enter. But right now it does look like we are breaking above the zone. Obviously that is fantastic for our long position. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see where it goes, and we want to be patient. We want to stick to our plan. You know, we're seeing a lot more buy volume coming into the market. That's fantastic for our trade. So we will see how it goes here. Up around, not a whole lot, nothing to really shout about, just under 1%. So we got the candle closure here. I'm just going to delete this because hopefully everyone understands. Theoretically, we could go like this, but that looks like a pretty clean break above that area. So I think the head and shoulders is invalidated because the price broke above this zone. If we get an instant rejection and get the price instantly back down here, then I'd still consider it. But at this point in time, well, if it holds the previous resistance as a new level of support, then it's a confirmation that this is a break in the price action pattern. We're not going to use it. But if this pushes back down all the way below the support and just completely doesn't adhere to this zone of sensitivity, then we can classify that as a rejection, and the head and shoulders pattern is still in play. But, looking back at the 1 hour, yeah, not seeing a lot of buy volume. Still got obviously 3/4 of the way until this candle's closed, but okay, at this point, I'm just going to completely eliminate risk off the table here. Because we've broken, held above the zone, see strong buy volume come in. Got to quit the rejection here, so I don't love that. Yeah, that head and shoulders pattern is still in play because that rejected pretty strongly here. Patience is a key, like always. But that is a pretty aggressive rejection from BTC. Look at that. So we got basically no risk. Probably gonna put the risk down to nothing here, honestly, because we've held above. Obviously this does not look very bullish. We held. I can just go like this, and boom, the head and shoulders still now in play with the price. If it breaks the 88.20 range, is going to be a breakout of the head and shoulders pattern. So we've completely reduced risk on our trade at this point. If it holds and pushes above, that's great. If it doesn't, we are going to get out of it without any real damage done. Okay, got another candle closure. Let's see how this next one does here. That is now the completion of the head and shoulders pattern. The price is able to hold below that zone. That is the completion of that pattern. Our trade is still in play. We got no risk on the table. If we hold on the 5-minute chart here below the zone, we are going to be potentially looking to short here. Got no risk on the table, so that's good. I'm just going to check out the other pairs that we're looking at right now, where they are. XRP's at a decent spot here, I think. Yeah, Link's a good option because we're basically right at a key zone here. Rejected it once. Potential second area where you got a third touch point, as well as our horizontal zone that we're currently at right now. Seeing more sell pressure on the way down than buy pressure on the way up, indicating volume distribution. Let's look at Link. Okay, so if it breaks this area of confluence that we drew in, that is going to be looking phenomenal for a short. Fan of that, a big fan of that. Okay, so let's draw this here. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And then in case we do get a pullback, there's what we're going to be using right here. Litecoin is not at my stop loss yet, but if it does, it's going to get taken out for a break-even trade. That is a pretty bearish rejection. That looks pretty bearish in my opinion. But I think if we do get confirmation below this zone here, I think that's what I'm going to be using. Kind of not so much right here. So a break below this zone right here is where I'm really looking for. So we will see how the price goes. Definitely BTC a little bit of pullback here. Wow, yeah, that's a very, very bearish rejection off this area for sure. So makes sense that we're looking for pullbacks at this zone. Definitely. So we're looking for shorts here. I think LTC, yep, LTC, as we can see, I just put it just a little bit above, but got out with a break even. Definitely looking for shorts now at this point in time. So I'll post that within the, oh, I should actually keep this. There we go. Okay, so I'll post that in 1 second. I guess we can wait for Link. XRP was a potential, but I'll talk about Link, or sorry, I'll talk about Litecoin. Okay. So we'll see what they do. Currently, Link is going to be my trade if we start making a short trade to the downside here. And broke even with the previous one. Trade management, definitely A, in my personal opinion. Okay, we're gonna go to the washroom real quick here. I'm probably gonna be starting our TikTok live as well, and then also gonna cut the crypto day trading off, start the BTC market update, and then the altcoin market update, and then continue on with the live crypto day trading for today. So we're gonna have to halt it here soon. I don't love doing the BTC market updates and crypto market updates because I tend to be more yelly, I guess you could say, loud. So then that wakes up other people who are trying to sleep early in the mornings. All right, well, 7:30, and haven't really made money today yet, but gain a little bit of exposure in the market. Looking for some more. Definitely looking for shorts at this point because BTC has hit its resistance area of around 8,900, and then now obviously we are potentially going to make a downtrend here. On the 1 hour chart, very, very bearish candle closures. Got 25 minutes on the hour candle, but we're going to be quite patient here because this could be a pullback, But then also again, you can have a reversal because it's close enough. You can definitely tell in the hour or 4 hour it's close enough to that zone. So we'll see how they close. XRP is in a consolidation, so that's good. That means we can work off of that. Litecoin we've got taken out in, so we're no longer having any exposure in that. Except it now broke below the zone, so at this point I'm pretty happy with not having exposure in that right now. Ethereum, not really too much to do. So I think if we're looking to short, Link's a good one because we have a horizontal zone of resistance. If we're breaking that zone, we have a nice zone of confluence where we could retest and push to the downside. That's an option. Litecoin we're not really looking at this point anymore. XRP is a good opportunity if we do break to the upside and then retest. If we are looking for longs, if this does correct back up. But obviously right now we are looking mainly for shorts because on the 5 minute we see the head and shoulders complete and then pull back and validate our new level of support or new level of resistance from the previous level of support there. So that means Link's looking a little bit better. So I'm going to go to the washroom, but I will be back. Okay, so seeing that price come closer to the area of confluence. Probably in Gibson West asked, when will you be streaming about BTC? Probably in half an hour to 40 minutes. Link is popping off. Not really. I'm not sure what you mean. It went up, yes. It kind of came right back down here, so. Yeah, you too as well. Gibson said, thank you. I'll be joining back. Have a good day. You as well. So this is a retest here, so looking at where BTC is right now on the 1 hour. Let's see where it holds, because this could be a good area for the price to retest before moving up here again, theoretically. Because we had a strong rejection. Let's just get our wick here. So the question is, we've already made a higher high from this high, from this high. So we're now in a higher high, higher low formation. It's bullish trend. Also making higher lows, obviously, as we can see up here. Now the question is, are we going to be holding this level and retesting these highs? Or are we just going to come down and fizzle down right at where we are right now? Because if we're able to get the price to come back to where we are right here, so trade from this level to this level here, to retest the current level of resistance that we've tested once with a pretty solid rejection. If we're able to retest that again, that could be a good opportunity here for a trade. Let's just see if we're able to make a double bottom. 1.5%. So what I'm looking at is a potential trade, very quick trade to retest that area. We need to see the price close below here. We already got one rejection. We're looking for the price to come down here. And then we'd need to see BTC and how it's doing. On our chart. See decreasing buy volume, or sorry, decreasing sell volume. Let's see how this support holds, because if we start to see some no supply candles, that could be the end of this reverse head and or this normal head and shoulders here. If we are able to hold, and if we don't get it up, if we break above this zone, could be looking for a quick trade. We'll see how it goes. Now, what I'm looking for, let's just talk about it here. In terms of risk reward, I think it's great. In terms of probability, I think it's pretty high as well. And it's a very significant scalp. You see a strong level of risk right here, or sorry, resistance, not risk, resistance. Still early in the morning here, haven't had enough coffee. But hit a resistance here multiple times. We broke above it, holding above the zone now, making a new structural higher high from the previous highs that we were not able to hold. At this point, this is now our higher low. We see one injection of buy pressure right here with the wick really protruding down below, and then the bulls pushing it right back up, seeing decent buy volume within that candle. As you can see, with the two amounts of buy volume representing the two holds for the bulls, so that's a good thing on that end. And I think depending on how BTC is looking, the trade would be an entry as close to this resistance and support as possible, because we know there have been bulls at this area. And then the first take profit would be at the previous high right here. So then that would be a pretty good risk reward. Maybe it's a risk reward of 2. Maybe it doesn't go all the way. But, you know, if we don't get an entry all the way here, obviously the risk reward does not make sense. But we'll see how BTC reacts here. Gotta be patient, especially when you're day trading, because it's really easy to overtrade if you're day trading, especially if you're like always zoomed in on the smaller time frames. So easy to overtrade. So got to always look at the 4 hour, the daily, very often throughout the day to understand where you are. Gives you a sense of perspective when you look at the daily, when you look at the even weekly or 4 hour, when you are trading on the 5 minute. And it's good to do it very often, in my opinion anyways. So the 4 hour has 11 minutes until it closes. Looks pretty, look, there's a significant amount of buy volume, but look at that rejection, right? Which makes sense because we just hit the candle body resistance at 89. So now we're in our consolidation phase, so we're going to look to short at resistances, potentially look to long at supports. We'll see how we react, but this could theoretically go, I think, here as well, with the type A and the type B candle closure. But not really gonna, I'll just leave it here for now. We are in a bearish trend, we broke that trend line, so I'm gonna leave it right there for now. BTC is pulling back, retesting the previous support, potential new level of resistance. We're not seeing a tremendous amount of volume come in here. BTC breaking above this resistance. I was looking at XRP here. I'm not entered yet, but you know, BTC is pushing to the upside here. Currently not in Litecoin, but we'll see how it reacts. We don't want to overtrade too much here. We also have to consider this as well, and the fact that we're on the 5 minute time frame, right? So 7 minutes until this candle closes. We'll definitely want to see what this candle closes to. Right now it just looks like it's a doji. Don't really want to say it's either bullish or bearish because we still have 7 more minutes. Alright, we got the candle closure here right at the top of the zone with less buy volume on the second one, on the second push than the first push, showing lacking buy volume on the way up. So definitely a little bit more bearish. As we can see, the previous candle had lots of buy volume pushing it up, and then the second candle up at this zone here, we see lacking buy volume. So it's definitely something significant. I'm not seeing stronger buy volume, but we got the 4 hour to close. We got the 1 hour to close. So very significant candle closure time right now. 7 hour, 8 hours basically until the daily closes, but definitely a significant candle closure that we need to keep an eye on. So we're going to take a look at all of the different alts that we're looking at right now. Same as XRP, we saw decreasing buy volume as the price was going up, right? That does not make sense. Look at this candle, that's pretty strong, but then we saw such a low amount of demand. If we see a rejection from this candle on the 5 minute, that would be a no demand setup, which would then indicate that there is a lack of demand, and then the bears are now taking over. It looks like if this candle closes red and closes below the open and is just more bearish with a bearish engulfing candle with significant transactions taking place for the sell side. So, and it's a lower high from here, as we can see. Let's just see what BTC is doing. Yeah, so that's that rejection zone that we drew in. If we see a rejection off this zone, we have a potential confirmation. We have 3 touch points. We have this one, the anchor point, and we have 2, and this would be the third, creating a lower high. You can also probably draw in a nice ascending trend line like so, also as a resistance. Oops. Maybe not perfect, but we'll see what this 5 minute does. Still got 2 hours and 20 minutes left. Closes green. This is now invalid. But we'll see what it does here. BTC making definitely a potential move here. It does close, except we do have a strong resistance, and to be completely honest, I think it does make more sense to look for a downside, because we'll talk about it on the 4 hour. We just made a very, very strong push to the downside. It makes sense to wait until we actually break to form a higher high before looking to long more. At this point, we made our attempt at Litecoin here. But at this zone, I think we're going to consolidate further, and we'll discuss in the BTC market update later today. Well, shortly here. But we'll see how much volume this current candle brings in. We'll see if there's any no demand candles here in the next couple hours. Pretty strong rejection from Link. I think Link is going to be the short that we're going to use here because it's so well respected. We see an ascending triangle. We see a very well respected ascending trend line connecting the higher lows. And when the price breaks the higher lows, breaking the market structure as well as breaking the price action pattern, hopefully we see a shift in the volume. We see more sell volume, decreasing buy volume, and that would be the setup we're looking for. So we're looking to enter on the lower high, completion of the exhaustion before the next impulse move to the downside. So I know the price is moving up, but on the larger time frames, always got to be looking at the larger time frames. I know the momentum is to the upside, but you know, for me, I just have been screwed over thinking that the momentum is now going to shift to the upside too many times for me to think that the momentum is now going to shift all of a sudden, because look how strong the move is to the downside here. I think we're going to have to go from a downside to a consolidation to a move to an upside, and breaking the $8,900 level of resistance and holding it will be a good confirmation. But at this point in time, I don't see that right now. We'll see how the volume looks here, because that was a pretty strong bullish candle that we got with lots of volume coming in, which is not going to obviously give us any outlook to be really shorting at this point. If it held here, obviously that would be a different story. XRP is definitely holding some nice resistances and supports here, so if we're able to pick a direction, I think we'll be able to pick a nice top or bottom and then get a good range going, because we have the top range here, next potential resistance or next potential support here. So with a good range in the middle. So retesting this zone. Let's see if it holds on the 5 minute here. Does Nathan ever make videos? O.E. Shim. He partakes in the podcasts. He makes a lot of the written content and does a lot of the back end work, but I primarily make more of the YouTube and educational videos. But he does help with all the written content and many of the trades and all that stuff. So does play a vital role, but I just do more of the, I guess, trading in some sense. Nice man, I was just curious. So we'll see what the market does here. I think I might get off semi soon, get a little bite to eat, and then start my BTC update. But if there's anything interesting that comes, we'll then potentially look here. But at this point in time, we're not seeing a tremendous amount happening in the market, so we're just patiently waiting here. So we got a new 5-minute candle here. Got a pullback, less sell volume than buy volume. Are we looking for shorts later? Potentially. I'm looking at link for shorting if it breaks below $4.2, but XRP, let's see if it's going to break out here. So if it breaks and pulls back and validates this resistance as a new level of support, then I'm definitely looking to be interested to get a little bit of exposure. But like I said, this is a resistance here, a major resistance, and I do not want to be longing when the momentum is very strongly to the downside here. I don't want to be doing that. One thing that I do see that is the buy volume is increasing on the 4-hour chart. I do want to be mindful of that, and on Bybit. But going to be patient here before I make up my choice to really start to look long. I wanted to see a little bit of a scalp. I didn't get it. Really, I was looking for obviously a risk reward of like 2.5 to 3 or 3.5 ideally, but we'll see how it goes. But I think what I'm going to do is make a BTC market update. We didn't really get a whole lot of action at this point, but we'll see what the market does bring a little bit later on today. But we'll start our BTC market update shortly. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned, because that will be happening in the next handful of minutes here. EOS broke to the upside. So that's something interesting. Yeah, but my bias is just more short. And I'll explain why within the BTC market updates. So I will close this YouTube live off. Thank you very much for joining in, everyone who have joined in this time around. And I will come back and see you within the BTC market updates shortly.